discuss deduction processing, which is part of accounts receivable in J.D. Edwards EnterpriseOne. One of the most critical steps in the AR process is recording the receipt of payment from customers. Prompt receipt application enables you to immediately recognize cash received and create an accurate cash flow position. When you receive payment from customers, the customer might reduce the amount of a payment for unknown reasons or for reasons that might be associated with a specific invoice or group of invoices, such as damaged goods. The amount by which a customer's payment is reduced is known as a deduction. Deductions are usually taken by customers as compensation or for the lack of product or services. And we want to be able to still enter in our cash receipts quickly so that we can have an accurate cash flow position. So if we take a look at the deduction processing, we can see that at the very top level, when I'm doing my cash receipt, I'll enter in my cash. If there is a short pay, I will go ahead and assign it a code, and that will create a deduction. Once that deduction is created, it's pushed off to the deduction workbench, where somebody can work those deductions later to go ahead and resolve the issues. Those resolutions could be a chargeback. It could be applying a credit memo. It could be a valid discount. You may want to request more info. You may want to reverse that or write it off. So let's take a look at the AR deduction process. What we're looking at right now is our customer ledger inquiry screen, and we can see our customer here, Continental Incorporated. The original invoice that was entered that we billed them for was for $750. I've already processed the cash receipt, which came in at $550, so a $200 short pay. We went ahead, created that deduction during cash receipt, which created an R5 document type, which is a deduction document type, and we can see the short pay that's $200. To go ahead and process this now and figure out what I want to do with this deduction, I come to the deduction workbench. On my deduction workbench, I can see the date that I'm looking at, what customer I'm looking at, and what they have as outstanding. So here's that deduction amount of $200, and $200 is open. If we go ahead and drill into this or select this record, I can come in and I can now process this deduction. I have decided that I want to create a chargeback document, meaning I don't believe this is a valid deduction, so I'm going to create a chargeback document, which will put this $200 back out there, send a new document to the customer stating they own the $200. How I'm able to do that is I go ahead, select a deduction activity code, and the one I'm going to do is deduction chargeback. We go ahead, select that, enter in the amount that we want to do the chargeback, which is the whole amount, and we'll have it default in today's date. Let's go ahead and click OK. And we'll see now that our disputed amount of $200, there's no longer an open amount. So let's go ahead and look at our closed ones. I can see now that the $200 of that disputed amount, there's nothing open. And if we go back to our customer ledger inquiry screen, we can see now that there is no open amount of that $200 amount. And what we'd be able to see is a new document type, meaning it's created the chargeback document type. So let me put in the original document type. And now I can see all three documents out here. The original invoice of $750, the RB, or the R5, which is the deduction of $200. We've resolved that deduction, and we've created a chargeback document type of RB, stating that they still owe us the $200. So what I was hoping that you were able to see during this is the ability to recognize your cash receipts immediately. This, in turn, assists with accurate cash flow position. You're then able to investigate later, or you could also have processed this deduction immediately. It's your choice. Thanks for reviewing deduction processing with me.